Oh, isn't that just beautiful? Just a few minutes ago, right there where the pasture meets the forest edge, there's a riparian area right there. I saw a doe and her fawn coming out, and we just stared at each other. It was beautiful. All right, this video is going to be useful if you want to build an earthbag house. Now, I'm going to go over the different stations needed for building an earthbag house, but it could vary slightly. But in this build, this is what they are. So here, let me switch this. Okay, so here's our building, right? So this building is a big box. It's relatively big, but we've got a couple of stations here. Station 1, that black bucket. Station 2, I'll name these in a minute. There's a station, and here's a station. And obviously it's surrounded by the build. And there's another station as well. So I'm not going to talk about that station way in the back. We no longer use it, but that would have been placed over here if we would have chose to do a different route. So this is the material area. So if you were going a little bit underground and say, we actually are just slightly, you dug your material out and you put it here and you can use it, this would be the area where you do the sifting, make sure you get the organic matter out. But in this video, I'm not going to go into why I'm bringing in material, but here is already mixed material to the proper ratios, and it's here, and I get it at 20 tons at a time. So I don't know, this is from here to the end is about 15 to 20 feet, and from here to the end is about 12 to 15 feet. And the mounds get really big. It's basically 2 or 3 big mounds. It's a pup and a truck that bring the material over. Okay, I'm going to come back to these here in just a second. We use wheelbarrows, like one right there, appropriately sized, and we bring the wheelbarrows in, and this is a 3 wheelbarrow trench. So this trench will fill up with 3 wheelbarrows. We use a rake and we smooth it out, and once we smooth it out, we then turn around, and underneath that tarp, what I'll pull back in just a second, is Portland cement bags. So if it's 3 wheelbarrows, we measured it out. We put the Portland on dry, rake that out again, and use this other station here. And we can probably even turn it on. So running off solar power. Here we go. We've got this pump in this mineral bucket. So that pump, I get this water with a 5-gallon bucket, or when we have that tarp protecting the trench, when it rains, the tarp fills up with rain, and we can pump it out of there back into there. And so that just goes through hose, and once the sand or the material plus the Portland is on there, we wet it down to appropriate consistency. Once that is done, then this tiller's used, and we did use a BCS for a while. Shout out to Chris Pogue for that. This one, shout out to Ben Keys for kind of community tiller. I think that's what turned it into, a little Cub Cadet, and it actually works great. So we mix the material in there, run it back and forth a couple times, and then we shovel it out with a flat bottom shovel into wheelbarrows. And where I'm standing right now, this is basically where we put the wheelbarrows. So Portland area. Typically I got a 5-gallon bucket here as well, so if we need to open a bag and just take out a little bit at a time for whatever reason, we can do that. But I reuse a lot of these tarps that were billboards, and so you'll notice that's on the bottom, and then a pallet is there, and we stack the bags of Portland on top of that. Turning this way, this is the bag area. So I have also these bags on Oh, here we go. So it's a big roll. Looks like a big toilet paper roll. I won't undo it all. And those are protected up off the ground on a pallet. Usually put the scissors there and then cover it with a couple of moving blankets and then that tarp. The other part of this station is actually these two stones. And we have different varying lengths of bags. So we kind of pull it out, we step it off, and on each end, we put this, put that down, cut it with the scissors, and so you can pop them one at a time. We've tried multiple ways. Holding just that down, one person could do a lot of bags pretty quick. Mark them with a marker, how big they are. So, okay, Portland, trench, water, material, bags. We'll walk around this way. We also use those mineral buckets to store the already cut bags. So like in this one, we have 7 and 11 cut bags. That's our measurement, 7 steps or 11 steps. We got a little bit of wind, so you see the tarp came off of this buttress. And in this one, I'll go ahead and open it up so you can see. Actually, it might be empty today. We got 1 bag in there, so we have our 5 bags in there, 5-step bags. Another thing, actually that's our epic handle bucket, wheelbarrow I mean. You see, that's a story for another day, but I guess this is also, if you are, we've been at this for some months now, so there are times when you've got to burn material or waste it. This is the waste pile. This will eventually go around the house, help slope the water away. So another very important station, and ours is mobile, is this, the barbed wire station. So I had created these sawhorses from some 2x4s a while back, and they were too nice to completely just jack up with the rebar. This is 7/8 rebar, or number 7 rebar, and it will hold this very heavy spool of barbed wire. This one's getting down to the end, but it's much fatter and much more difficult to work with when you're using it. So this is mobile. So to move this, we take this off, move it to where it needs to go, set it down, then take the horses over there, and we're good. So you'll need some bolt cutters to cut the wire. The only special thing I really did to these was we found some old fence that I used for another building. And part of that old fence had these old but treated 2x4s. So I actually cut these to about the same size and then just used a circular saw to notch that out so it has a little place to sit, and put some 3-inch screws in it. So I think it goes down and through that. So as you climb up the wall too, you might have something like straw bales or that platform. I'll be doing some leveling for those rebars later. But so that's our setup. Each one of those stations has its own details and more information on how to work with them and how to use them. So if time allows, I'll go ahead and put out some videos for that. And if not, we'll end it here with the moon in the background over our pile. And bless you guys in the name of Jesus. If you got any questions, post them in the comments. If you want to see some more details on something specific, just ask away. Go ahead and ask. So love you guys. Bless you in the name of Jesus. Talk to you later.